What up? We live. What's up, JM? What's up, Elijah? What's up, Mo? Been busy? Work? Word up, man. That's cool. I hope. I hope work is manageable. At least. I'm glad you still doing it. Elijah, I wanted to call you last stream, but missed like having it. Word up. Yeah, Mo. Yeah, it's good to hear from you, man. I hope you're doing all right. Hope the place is treating you okay. Hope everything's going good. What's up, DeMarco? What's up? Yeah, and I was just thinking about you because I almost forgot the live stream today. I was thinking about you because you asked me why should people keep like hobbies and things or just other side things going, and the one part I forgot to mention was I don't know if you've seen, but there was like these memes or whatever, like these captions saying like what millionaires do and all this. Like they usually have like 4 and 5 sources of income. Like that's another thing why I would say keep up other hobbies and things you like to do. Not maybe necessarily just for money, but just for your own mental peace and feeling like you accomplished something in life. You don't have to be a millionaire. I think that's what media, especially social media, kind of focuses on far too much, man. It's money. So it's not always about money, man. It's a lot of times just about a lot of times it's really just about having a sense of completion in life, or just a sense of peace and of happiness within yourself. And the reason why I was the one reason that I forgot to add in to that question of why keep up, multiple hobbies and things is because sooner or later, like there's people who are like, working a job that they love and then they can lose that job next week. And when they lose that job, like they literally have nothing, right? So, but if you had a job and you had like some hobby or something you were doing, whether it was just working out or jogging, or if it was painting or it was drawing or playing a video game, whatever, like yeah, you're gonna be like sad about losing the job, but you still have other things to to that you still have other things for yourself. Like for example, like I grow plants, I do all types of shit, man, and like something will happen and like I remember not too long ago, I had a bunch of plants and like for I don't even know why, but like half of them just started dying. I watered them. I made sure they was transpotted properly. They weren't too big for the pot they were in. That they got plenty of sunlight, and it just died. Right? Like it was nothing I could do. And I really like those plants. I really enjoyed those plants. And if they just spontaneous. From my perspective, they just like unanimously agreed to just start dying. Right? And I really like those plants. And so I had to throw them out because it was just nothing I could do. But I still had other things going, whether it was like a video game or books I'm reading. Actually, right now, I'm reading a few comic books. I'm reading a lot of them. I'm reading the DC Absolute series. I'm reading Absolute Batman, Absolute Superman, and Absolute Wonder Woman. I was reading Absolute Manhunter, but it just kind of got too repetitive. Maybe it would change up later. I don't know. Then I was reading Absolute Flash. I just never really cared for the Flash, so I just don't like the Flash. But the point I'm trying to make is, like, I still had other things going, so it's not like, when that one thing fucks up, the rest of my life is like completely in shambles. I mean, it'll be a little bit in shambles given your situation, but I still had something. You will still have something else to in your life, so you're not fully defined by one thing. And this is why I highly advise guys that like never put everything into one woman or one friend or anything like that. Like spread that shit out, because if that one person decides to do something shitty, that's all you got. right? So like keep that shit spread. Women do it all the time, but men a lot of times try to put it all into one thing. It's that loyalty situation that kind of goes wrong sometimes. But yeah, I was thinking about you, man, and I thought about that earlier today. But yeah, I'm reading Absolute Batman is probably my favorite one. The Absolute Batman series. I think it's like issue 11. 11 just came out, and I read that one. But for real quick, for those who don't know, the Absolute series in DC is pretty much just like a bit more realistic, a bit more realistic situations of like Superman when he was a kid and he got here from Krypton, and like a realistic situation on how Batman could become Batman kind of thing, even though it's still comic book bullshit, but it's more realistic. Like for example, Clark Kent was born to a working class family, and who were like, he was born to he was really born to a blue collar working class family on Krypton who was just they were financially fucked up. Batman, he comes to be in Gotham. Well, he becomes Batman and all his friends are like really good in their respective field, like fighting or like puzzle solving. So he's friends with like the Riddler, Cobblepot, like they're all friends at like the age of 20. And he pretty much goes back to them and asks them how to, how can I make this? What is this? Da da da. And that's how he goes out. And he still fights on his own, and he gets jobs in like construction sites and these kind of things like that, so he can learn the city. And but it's a more realistic approach to somebody actually becoming Batman in a way. It's still bullshit, but it's entertaining to me. I like it. They just had Bane in it. Bane was just in it. He was in the last few issues, but they just told the origin story of Bane. But it's really good. Actually today I was reading Batman Justice Buster. It was an anime. It's like it's a Japanese rendition of Batman. And I like that. I like that version of Batman better because I like the Batman who still has like that teenage angst in him, that like that that almost childish vengeance on the world kind of thing. And I like that Batman more. I don't really care for like pretty much any other Batman. They're cool, but I like the ones that like I like Chris. What's the Twilight dude? I liked his Batman. He just kind of had that blind anger, angst towards the world kind of thing. That's the Batman I always care for. I don't really like the other ones. I mean, I could deal with them, but I don't really like the other ones. And you seen any of the Raja Jackson? I don't even know who that is. My spouse was trying to tell me who Talina Tyler is. I'm like, who is that? I was like, I know who Tina Turner is. Are you because she's because my spouse is Czech. She's not American, so she has the accent. I'm wondering, did she get the name wrong? She's telling me Tiana Tyler or some shit like that. I was like, are you trying to say Tina Turner? And she goes, no, it's a black girl, but she's younger and she's a star in America, blah blah blah. So she showed me a picture of the bitch. I think she looked like a man. She's like some American rap artist or actress, I don't know. But she's like all this horrible makeup on. Let me see if I can find her. Or a roasted her. I don't even mean to roast her, but it was like it was some shit like something. This is it. Yeah. That's the girl. Because we were having a conversation about actresses, and she kept saying Tiana. I'm like, who the fuck are you talking about? Because she got a little Czech accent. I'm like, what? Do you mean Tina Turner? And so no, it's another girl. I was like, I don't know any stars. She like. And see, that goes back. I'm not gonna go on this rant for too long, but that is what I find so annoying about the world. Like, these motherfuckers know everything about North America. Like, I don't even know this shit. I don't know who this bitch is. I can care less who she is. If I seen her in the street, I literally would not look twice at her. I don't care. Right? Now, my spouse, who is the palest Czech white woman you ever see, knows this bitch by first and last name, knows who she's dated. And I could care. I thought the bitch name was Tina Turner. Right? I mean, that's it for the Europe versus America thing. I'm not gonna go on that rant for another hour because she already heard enough of that a couple days ago. But she going on about Tiana Tyler. I'm like, bitch, you mean Tina Turner? The fuck you? Because she's done that before. She'll be talking about a star and just butcher the name. I got the, I know I can't think of an example, but she's done it before. Oh, like Raja Jackson. I have no idea who Raja Jackson is. Let me Google Raja Jackson. Raja Jackson. Let me Google that. I don't know. I don't know who this is, but no. Oh, is that Rampage? Yeah. Okay. No. First, let me tell you this. I don't know who this person is, but I did see a clip where Rampage's son like body slammed some wrestler and like just was on top of him, just like punching him till the motherfucker's just out. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. I think it was a bit of a shitty move because the wrestler dude didn't even know what was going on. I think it was a bit of a shitty move for that. But maybe this is him. I don't know. I don't know the dude's name. I don't know who anyone is. Oh, maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what it was, where he body slammed that wrestler, and maybe that's what it was. Because I thought it was I thought it was fucked up how he did it. Because it was clear like the wrestler dude had no, like he thought it was probably just the acting, the wrestling bullshit, and he just like went crazy on him. Like, yeah, I think that he needs to go ahead and, like, in my opinion, I think that boy needs to go ahead and do some time in prison for that. For the reason why I say that is because, one, that dude is like legit. He is legit trained, and two, it was clear that wrestler dude really didn't know what the fuck was going on. You know what I mean? Like, that's like walking up behind somebody just shooting somebody. You know what I mean? Because they made you mad earlier that day. In my book, that's the equivalent of what he did. He walked up to somebody he got into a little squabble with earlier that day. He walked up to him later and just shot him. Like, in my book, he needs to go to prison for that. Because of who he was and who his dad is. Right now, had he been just some little regular street dude who went and did it, who wasn't really trained for real and all that, he should go to jail for a little while. But let him out because he was just mad and all that. But this boy is a legit trained fighter. You know what I mean? And there should have been more discipline somewhere in that. Like, you don't just go run up on motherfuckers randomly. And it's clear they don't know what the fuck's going on, and you just do that. They need to lock him up for that. 1,000%. They need to lock him up for that because he's trained. He should have knew better. Ask anybody, as anyone in the martial arts world about that, they will tell you the same thing. There should have been some legit discipline in that shit. Just walk on stage and just do that. Because now it's like, okay, who won't he do it to now? Right? It's clear he could pick up somebody who looks like he's like 3 times his size. Right? So what's to say this motherfucker just don't get mad because somebody ain't put ketchup on his burger and he was having a bad day earlier that day because he read some fucked up shit on Instagram about him, and he just go back there and just start whooping and just start, knocking everybody out. There's nothing, there's no sense of discipline. The last time it was a white dude who did that to this little white dude in a bar, and they put him in prison for that shit. Let me see if I can find that. I remember because it was this little white dude in a bar. He was like trying to show out, and the dude was a trained fighter, and just like hit him with like a 3-piece, something like that, and knocked him clean the fuck out. And I'm pretty sure they put him in prison for that. Let's do fighter in bar. Let me see. I don't even know how to. I don't know if it's a boxer or boxer. I probably won't be able to find it. I think this was it. I think that's it. And they locked his ass up for that. Oh no! It says he claimed self-defense. Wait, let me make sure this is the same one I'm thinking about. Yeah, this is it. That's the one. He got off for self-defense for that? I mean, yeah, this dude is clearly a clown. This dude, this dude in the bar, he's clearly a fucking clown. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't have taken him serious at all. See, yeah, like I think that yeah, he needs to go to prison for that shit because he knows exactly what the fuck he's doing. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things. It's okay. Okay, here's the thing. In my book, like I said, that's the reason why I would never ever fight my spouse because I know that I would demolish my spouse with two legs and one arm tied behind my back. That's the exact reason why I would never ever ever fight my spouse unless I was like brainwashed or some crazy shit like that or like super high off of like as long as I'm mentally intact, there is no way I would ever hit my spouse. The reason why is because I know I would win. It wouldn't even be a fight. My thing in life, like my thing is this, and I've always been like this. If I know, if I'm in a if I'm getting into it with somebody, right, and I clearly know I can beat you, like I know I can take you and most likely beat you. I'm not even interested in fighting you under any circle. I'll try to restrain you if you start getting too wild, but I'm not interested in actually trying to hurt a motherfucker who I know I can win against, right? See what I'm saying? Now, like I would go, okay, now I would look out to go fight somebody who I knew I could probably lose to or probably would lose to. Like I'm that motherfucker who would go try to fight a professional. I would tell like a legit professional to give me a taste of what professional shit is, and I would sign up for that shit 5 days out the week, 5 days out of 5 days I'd be in there and so I could taste it, right? So because I know I can't beat that, but I'm not gonna fight some dude who I know I can win against, or I'm not gonna fight a dude who like I know I could catch off guard and cold clock him or something like that. Like I don't have any personally. I don't have any respect for that. I have no interest in that as a human. I just have no interest in that. That's just me. That's me. But yeah, this was it. This was the one I was thinking about. Uh-oh, what happened? It's gone. Like personally, I would never talk to a dude like that. I would never talk to I wouldn't even like if I hear one of my friends doing something like that, I would not associate with people who do shit like that. Like go and fighting people who they know they can beat, or they didn't give the other person like a fair shot like in the fight kind of thing. Because here's the thing, street fights in general usually are nowhere near like a good equal playing ground because it's usually one person's mad and the other person is just trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. Right? That's usually the reality of a street fight. So it's like severely lopsided from the start at the core. Then it's like, well, who's gonna throw the first punch and all that? I just don't respect street fighting like on fighting like outside of a controlled environment. I just don't have much respect for street fights unless the two sides were like completely aware. Okay, this is it. We are gonna make contact with our fists now or with our whatever. But we are unless both sides are completely set up to be aware. I just don't even I wouldn't even want to associate. I put guys like that in the same boat as women. Like I don't even want to deal with people who would do stuff like that. It's just I think it's unnecessary. I think I think it's pathetic that you would even do that personally. But I don't even want to even associate with people who do shit like that. Yeah, in this shit, yeah. Because we're gonna watch this. It was clear that wrestler dude like didn't really know what was going on. See, look, you see the look on his face? Like the dude legit didn't even know what the fuck was really happening. You don't even know what's going on. Yeah, see, they need to go ahead and lock him up for that. They need to lock you. He need to go to he need to go to prison for that. Look at this shit. You go to prison. Like if I was a judge, I'd put him in prison. That is attempted that is attempted murder. That is literally attempted murder. If he doesn't get a murder charge for that shit, okay. That is attempted murder, dude. Period. There's no way around that. There's no way around that. And it's not just like one or two punches. He's like, the dude's like clearly out and he's still going off. That shit is a tip. There's no excuse for that. Now, I don't know if you guys seen, hold on. Let me go back. Let me see. Because there was something that happened in Cincinnati where that fight broke out. And I think that made it like worldwide. Cincinnati. This went viral. And it was beating up this old white dude, right? And his wife.
A video of the heated words, getting ready to throw. Moments later, two men are seen lying in the street. Eventually throws a punch. The man in
this ain't even what
white
I'm thinking
pants
of.
from earlier can be seen following behind. As more men surround.
This is the one I'm thinking of.
Well, I don't know what you do with the people standing around watching.
Called 911.
Now this fight, this situation, I'm literally from. I'm from probably like a city over from this. Oh wait, hang on. I'm literally from like, I think I'm from the same county that this happened in, right? Now I watched this video. That's not attempted murder. That was something that fucked around and happened. And the white people like look in that area. Generally, what happened when I first seen that video, my thing is, okay, what did those white people do? That was my first question. On that video, I think that was something, and that would have been it. Whatever, blah 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 blah. That video, no, but this video, he need to go to prison. That is attempted murder. That's attempted murder, dude. Yeah, hang on. Wait. D. Yeah, I seen it. Yeah, because they were outside and the one dude like hit him with a can. They were saying he's not an actor or something like that. And the other dude was like kind of telling him to calm down outside. But even then, man, like let's be real, like I don't know, because and the kid's 25. He's 25, and he was trained how to fight by a legit, for real trained fighter, which is his father. I remember watching his dad on TV when I was about 25, when he was fighting for that championship. I was in Harrison, Ohio, watching that. I still remember exactly where I was at. Right? He's 25. That's just a bad scenario, man. That's just a horrible scenario. But that's attempted murder. That's because in my book, that's attempted. I don't see how he can get away with anything outside of attempted murder. At least a murder charge for how he did it. I don't see how he even gets out of that shit. Because it happened later, so that means he thought about it, because if he had done it like at the time where the beer bottle got smashed on him, then that would have been, like assault / like assault. And if he had killed the guy, it would have just been manslaughter. But the fact that they went off, cooled down for a while, and then he came back and snuck up behind him while he was on the stage, and then went that hard after he slammed him, and then just kept going on it. I don't see how he can get away. I don't see how you get out of a murder charge for that. I don't see how you could do it. And because again, you got to factor in he was trained on top of that. If he had been trained, and maybe, but he knew what he was doing. He wasn't just some dude who just throws fists. You know what I mean? Like he knew exactly how to throw fists. You know what I mean? Like, no, that's not cool at all. At all. At all. I remember when Rampage Jackson broke the door down and all those power bombs he put on people. I could see why that slap knocked big guy out alone. Word up. The Can was a wrestling prop. He later apologized to Roger. Judging from Roger's reaction, he didn't like that and was not a part of the gig. Yeah, like the other dude, he was like pushing him off with one arm, like telling him like calm down or something like that. They were like out back and there was like cars out there, like on the like to the right of him, I think. I watched the clip, I think this morning. I didn't know it was that big of a deal in the world, though, or like, you know, in news. I didn't know who it was, to be honest. But here's the thing. In my opinion, the only way somebody could say that was cool is, okay, here's the thing. The only way somebody could say that was cool is that is a black person who was for real racist, right? Just like I could say anybody who, the vast majority of people who would be against immigration are like, no, here's the equivalent I would put it at. The population that glorifies the Roman Empire are generally going to be closet racists for real. Because they can't acknowledge anything that the Roman Empire did that was wrong. It's always the Roman Empire was magnificent and great. I would say those are two equivalents. If a black person looks at that and says that was cool, they're racist. They're seriously racist. That's a seriously racist black person. That's not a black person who just like acknowledges racist shit happens. That's a black person who wants to see white people get hurt. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to see any white person get hurt that wasn't justified. It wasn't, justifiable reasoning behind it. That was not justifiable reason. That is just shitty behavior. I mean, he's 25. And everybody, I'm not gonna act like, he's 25. Everybody makes mistakes, right? It is what it is. Everybody's gonna make a mistake. I knew a dude like that here. His name was Doty, and he was one of them types of dudes, right? He was like the Roger. He's this big dude, this Czech dude. I remember I was standing at an escalator in the mall here in Prague. I remember I was wearing this light blue suit. I never wear this suit, but I was just wearing it, just chilling, right? And he came up the escalator and he just comes straight to me and starts talking to me, but he's like being real cool and real nice, right? And you could tell he was a fighter. Like he was one of them dudes. And his name's Dodi. Dodi, right? And so we was talking for a minute. I said, "Hey, come on, I'll buy you a beer." So we go to the bar across the street to go buy a beer, right? Because I was gonna buy him because he was cool, whatever. We were just hanging out, and so I bought him a beer. This dude bullied everybody along the way. Like he was one of them, like he was a trained fighter and he wanted the world to know. Like he would just like look at people and just call them out for a fight. Like I'm like, what are you doing? You can't just do that to people walking down the street, right? And so like as the night went on, like I started distancing myself from him, and I went to go hang out with these other people because I just don't like people like that. Because at first what happened was we went to go get a drink at the bar. So then he's like, showing me, fighting techniques. So then we start like kind of like fake sparring and all that. Like I probably couldn't beat him for real. If we really fought, I more likely probably would have lost because he was just, bigger and faster kind of thing. Because he like legit trains for this shit. So we was like sparring like outside on the street, and he was showing me how he took down guys like twisting their arm back. So we was like going at it, and then but he would just like start calling out people like like ridiculous. Like yeah, I just don't really fuck with people. I don't keep people like that around me, man. It's just unnecessary problems. You know what I mean? It's really just unnecessary problems. But no drift. Yeah, they need to put his ass in prison for that. Like I said, if a black person could look at that and say no, he don't need to go to prison for that, Then that black person is a for real racist. That's how you can tell. Look, if I go to court, I'll be the first one to stand up. Like, yep, put that Negro in jail. I turn to Uncle Ruckus real quick. Throw his black ass in jail. Throw his black ass and lock away the key. Uncle Ruckus, no relation. Hitting a white man like that, it is all right. What, you crazy? You jigaboo? I was watching Uncle Ruckus this morning. I think he'd do all right in prison. I think he would do all right in prison. Cause them dudes ain't really trained like that. Like them dudes are just like a lot of dudes just wild. You know what I mean? Like they're not really trained. I think he'd be all right in prison. He wouldn't be invincible. He wouldn't be like Mike Tyson in prison. Like the motherfucker like Mike Tyson would be running that prison. But he ain't really. I don't know, but. Now Mike Tyson, them heavyweight boxers, no, you can't mess with it. I was watching George Foreman fights last week, and George Foreman is my favorite heavy hitter. Well, between him and Rocky Marciano, those two are my favorite, like just like slugger heavy hitters. And I was watching one clip where I thought it was so crazy how George Foreman said he was afraid of Joe Louis. And when you watch the fight, you would think like George Foreman was just like, it wasn't a big deal. He just, he beat the shit out of Joe Louis, right? But like, am I saying I always get the names confused because I'm terrible with names. I think it was a Joe Louis where he knocked him down like 6 times, like in the same round kind of thing, and he just kept getting up. But if you watch the George Foreman versus Joe Louis fight, you would think that George Foreman just knew he was going to win and, all that. But when he was interviewed, he said he was terrified of Joe Louis. He was absolutely terrified of the dude, right? But when you watch the fight, it's like, oh my God, like that shit look easy. Like I could beat Joe Louis at that rate. But George Foreman hit so hard, man. That motherfucker was like out of all the boxing I've ever seen, the only ones that had me shook while watching the fights, like, because when you watch something on camera, even when it comes to like snowboarding, you can watch a snowboarder with like a GoPro, and it looks like these motherfuckers going slow as hell, but the motherfuckers are going fast, right? In real life, that's how a lot of some boxers like, oh yeah, that like it kind of stings, you know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, but like Roy Jones Jr., you're like, oh wow, that punch like it was sting a little bit. Like, it didn't look fast on camera. Like, I'm not saying I could beat Roy or even stand a chance against Roy Jones Jr. But what I'm trying to say is, like, on camera, watching it, you'd be like, oh, that was a nice connect. But when I watch, like, those Rocky Marciano and George Foreman fights, I'd be like, God, I couldn't take that at all. And Mike Tyson, of course, Mike Tyson. But I'm like, there is no way I could take them. I couldn't take one of them. I'll be in the ring talking about my neck, my back, my neck and my back. From Friday, I'd be if I could even talk after that. But George Foreman, yeah, he was probably my favorite heavy hitter for real, because that dude just hit hard, man. It was just unbelievable. He's my favorite one that I can think of at the moment. When John Jones said he was terrified of Rampage Jackson and had nightmares of getting knocked out by Rampage. Word. Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier. That's what I'm thinking of. I'm terrible with names. Joe Frazier. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. I'm terrible with names. Super. What's up, Super? Said, put him under the jail. Put his ass under the jail. Because at that point, ain't it, okay, like, had he'd have done that like at the time of when it all happened, it probably would have been a little more. It would have been more respectable. But it's like the fact that like they went off and you know what I mean, and separated, and then he walked up behind him in the ring, didn't even face him straight up, but behind him. And let's look back. Like it's clear like the dude didn't even know what the fuck was going on, right? Like it was clear. Let's go back to the like let's look at the dude's face again. Like he clearly didn't even know what the fuck was going on. Look, he don't even know. He just turned around. Now he even kind of smiling. Like, okay, yeah, what we gonna do now? Don't even know. Yeah, so yeah, they need to put his ass up under. Just look. Go outside, get a bulldozer, pick up the whole side of the penitentiary, and just throw his ass underneath it, and lower that motherfucker back down. That's terrible. This is terrible. And see, and he keep like it's like he's clearly done, and he keeps going. This fight, that situation is going to be, that is dream fuel for Fox News against Negroes and Donald Trump. That is Donald Trump and Fox News' dream material. Them motherfuckers literally shot fucking liters of cum when they seen that shit. Fox News had a fucking orgy when they seen that. Look, see, all them niggers are crazy. They'd do anything. Uncle Ruck is sitting right over there going, yep, get them Negroes up out of here. Hitting our precious white men, going up in their boxing ring, just causing all kind of ruckus. That is Fox News is going to have boy, Donald Trump's team is going to have a field day with that shit. All them niggers, dude. Look at them. All of them crazy. All them baboons got rabies. They just do all types of crazy shit. Look at them. You voted for them. Don't put them in as president. Don't even get them niggas no job. They gonna come do it to your bosses. They will do it to your daughters, to your nephews and nieces at work. Fox News gonna have a ball with that. I get Fox News gonna have a ball with that shit, dude. I like watching Fox News just because of how pathetic they are. You know what I mean? Like they have a sense of like, because it's like they clearly have a completely premeditated like hate, like you know what I mean, like a premeditated white power hate. Now let's be clear: white power hate does not mean all white. White power hate means the whites and then all the races that aren't black that think they can be white, that they can fund Fox News and help them out, kind of thing. But Fox News gonna have a ball with that shit, and at this time I can agree with them. That's terrible. That is terrible. You throw his ass in prison. Don't even give him no court date. Just when he get in the police car, just take that police car straight to the front door of prison. He don't need processing, none of that. Just look when the police come to the house to come pick him up. Just have the uniform ready for him. Just put it on right there at the front door. Just zip it up, button up. 3 buttons right here. Yep. Here's your footies. Put these on, and have about 3 dudes with AK-47s just pointed at him. Just don't even ask. Just M16s, just M4s, just point it. Just make a move. and then just walk him to the car. And just drive to your closest penitentiary and just walk him up to the front doors and say, see you later. I think Fox News is pathetic, but on this one, me and Fox News can see a bit. We can come eye to eye a little bit. How's the wrestler at fault? The wrestler apologized to Roger after popping that can over his head. It's Roger's fault and the people who thought it was a good idea to let Roger. Well, he didn't need what? Did they? Okay? Did they let? Okay. So maybe I'm ignorant. Maybe I'm missing parts of the story. Did they actually let him? Was he part? Because from from the clip I heard earlier, he was not a part of the show at all. He wasn't a part of the show at all. And because they were saying that when he popped the can over his head. What was supposed to be a plan and agreed upon wrestling spot turned to a selfish response back and violence. Okay, he was shown being hit outside by the U.S. Army military vet. Then when Smith, oh God, and the dude was an army. He was a military vet on top of that. Oh, he going to prison for that. His black ass going to prison for that. Then when Smith was fighting an opponent, Jackson climbed to the ring, picked up the slam. Yeah. Yeah, they need to go ahead. Yeah, they need to go ahead and put his ass in prison for that. That's fucked up. It's fucked up. He was not part of the act. Okay, yeah. Because I was maybe I missed the part of the story. Maybe he was part of the act the whole time, but he wasn't even part of the act that went up there. If that's true, he wasn't even part of the act. That's fucked up, man. Because he knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? Again, like for somebody who knows what they're doing, to go out there and fight. You know what I mean? Like that. Because there's a reason why. I don't know if it's still a thing, but like professional sports stars, like really, even college sports players from when I was younger, they weren't allowed to go out and just play with regular people. Because matter of fact, as a friend of mine, I'll say his name now because my channel's small and all. His name's Jeremy, and he played at Robert Morris. So that's enough information for you to go Google him and find him. His name was Jeremy, and he set a bunch of records out there at Robert Morris College. But we used to play. He would come home and we would play outside in front of his friends named Mike. He had a friend named Mike, and we would play in the street basketball hoop when he would come back from college. But we knew, and we would talk about it. He technically wasn't allowed to come. I'm pretty sure he wasn't allowed to do it too at the time. But I'm fairly certain like NBA players are not legally allowed to just go and just like hoop at like regular parks, rank completely randomly. Like I'm fairly certain. I also blame Rampage because he created that monster with years of disrespecting his son and bullying him, masking it as tough love. Yeah, like again, like the kid was 25. He's a kid still, man. So like personally, I don't know. Because I don't follow these people. I don't follow anybody. I follow myself. I don't really pay attention to most other people, in media. But like I wouldn't go so I wouldn't personally, from my perspective. Again, I have an ignorant perspective, but from my perspective, I wouldn't go so far as to blame his father yet for it. But I don't know. Again, I don't watch these things. He could have just been a 25-year-old kid who just had a bad 2 hours or an hour, however long it took. He could have had a bad hour or two, and did something he might end up regretting for the rest of his life. Especially if the dude had died. Especially if the guy had died. Because if he fucked around and killed him, if the guy fucks around in that hospital and fucks around and dies. You see, now that escalates to a whole nother situation. If Roger is mentally unstable to the point where he, a 25-year-old man, can't be held accountable for his actions, he shouldn't be allowed to be by himself in the greater society. Yeah, for somebody who's trained to that extent, yeah, I totally agree. For somebody who's trained to that extent. Like, this motherfucker knows how to take you down 18 different ways. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's just no. That's not cool, man. Like I said, I would never fight my spouse or my spouse's brother, because me and her brother fell out a while back, right? Now there was a couple times where like I would like okay, I would even if I were to fight him, like I would not go full on 100% on him. Like I would throw maybe two or three good hard right hooks at him, some shit like that. You know what I mean? Get up on him and maybe hit him in his ribs, or just even if he blocks it, I'll throw like one or two, just two or three good right hooks. Make sure they land properly. We get that spear hammer up in him type of shit, because I'm skinny as fuck. Just to let him know, okay, like this is gonna hurt if you want to keep going. And if it went on longer, I would just try to restrain him, kind of thing, right? You know, and I'm not even I'm not trying to say I'm a fighter. I am not a fighter. At this stage, I can't even fight well because my back is so fucking fragile. I can't even twist well if I gotta twist. You know, if we get to like wrestling with it, kind of thing, I can't twist well at all. I can still punch halfway decent, but I can't twist like completely twist. You know, in separation from my waist, kind of thing, very well. I'm not a fighter, but like I would say this, like if I were to get in a fight with like random people on the street, like I would say out of 10 people, completely random people on the street, especially if they're in my weight class, I would say I could say I would beat 5 out of 10 people without question on the low side immediately. Even at going on 40 right now, I could confidently say that, especially if they're in my weight class. You know, but with that being said, like that's why like it would be a rare situation where I would actually end up in a complete street fight because of my personal philosophy with it. And again, I'm not even like a trained fighter, but I know more than the regular person walking down the street would know, kind of thing. And I wouldn't do that. But yeah, they need to throw his ass up under the jail for that. Yeah, I mean, isn't it like in the world of like just in the world of martial arts, man? Like anybody like it's just that thing. Like you know, it's like sports. Like it would be like Warren Sapp going like to a random. Well, okay, no, in this way, the guy was actually kind of trained. It'd be like Warren Sapp going to like a high school football team and going out there to kill them fucking 20 or like a second string college football team. It'd be like Warren Sapp right now going to like a third string college football team and just going for broke, just like going for people's necks to kill them, kind of thing. Like that's just it's completely untasteful. It's just untasteful. But again, this kid's 25, man. He just doesn't know. He doesn't have a good sense of the world yet. You can't at 25 to really know what you're doing in this part, right? And on top of that, it's probably all he's ever like. So for the kid, that's all he's ever really known. So like he thinks everybody knows how to do that, right? He like at 25, he's thinking since that's all he's ever really known. He's had a father and like who's only done that. So like from his perspective, he thinks everybody knows how to do that, right? Because it's kind of like me, like for example, like my father is a retired mechanic, right? Now I don't know. I cannot go out there and fix my own car. But if you take me to somebody's garage, I can point out pieces and know what a gasket is, what a manifold is. If you even say it, like I can think of it and have an image in my head and then go to a garage and go find it, right? But with that being said, I'm not a mechanic. Like, I could not go outside and do anything intricate on my car. I could change a tire. I've done that before by myself. I could probably figure out how to change the oil on my car I got now here. Probably not. I don't know. With YouTube and this kind of things, I could figure out other little things, but I could not go out there and do it. But it would be like me with my not because I grew up around cars and cars being worked on, from like older cars to modern cars, because my dad worked on cars all the time. Actually, I was on the phone with him earlier today. He was going to his friend's house to replace a belt on a fan because his friend, messed it up and he had to go help him. But it would be like at 20, like even now, like I assume people know what gaskets are, right? Like even at 40 years old, because I grew up with a father who was doing that, my immediate thought is if I'm talking to another man, they should know what an alternator does. Or how how it should be mounted if I give them one, because it will have like the holes in it, or like I assume, even now I still assume that. And I have to remember, like, no, like this person didn't grow up like that. They didn't grow up with a father as a mechanic, so they probably don't have much understanding of it, right? And this kid's 25, so and from his perspective, there's a very good chance that all he sees is everybody knows how to do that takedown because his dad taught him that since he was fucking 8 years old, probably younger, right? So like again, like I wouldn't jump to the conclusion that it was his dad. Like his dad should have put more discipline in him or anything like that. Like I wouldn't jump to that conclusion immediately. Yeah, he could have just been a dumb 25-year-old kid who just made a bad decision. But even with that being said, the reality of it is it's that Menendez brothers shit. Like even if you were 9 years old and you killed your parents, you still killed your parents. And that's a psychological issue that once you do that, there's no coming back from that. You've done it now. Now you are always going to be a threat to society. We are never letting you out of prison. Right? It was never going to happen. Even if, because I think those Menendez brothers, they just got denied parole. They are never, I very highly, unless they end up being like 98 years old, I highly doubt they'll ever get out of prison because once they've done that, they've crossed that line of killing their own parents. Who won't they kill now? They are never getting out of prison. And if this dude fucks around and dies, was it the Raja kid? If he fucks around and dies, because it's clear he was trying to kill him. He wasn't trying to just hurt him and knock him out. He was on top of him trying to kill him. At that point, a UFC match would have called that fight off. That was not a UFC match. That was a murder. If you watch any MMA fight, by the time he would have got to a good 2 to 3 punches, I would say maybe at max 2 or 3 punches, the ref would have stepped in and went like, no, it's over. Right? Get off of him. It's done. That was not an MMA fight. That was a murder. AD, what's your opinion on Peacemaker TV show? I heard season 2 was, I don't even know if it's out, but I thought it was great. Thanks for the $1, Ramo. Is that? Oh, Distraction. Nice name. I haven't watched it. I think it's a season 2. I haven't watched it. I think John Cena does an excellent job as that character. So much so that in Absolute Superman, this is a slight spoiler, their military is like the Peacemakers. Like it's just a bunch of dudes walking around with that helmet in the comic book Absolute Superman, which I highly recommend anybody read. I think Absolute Batman's the best comic in that run. But Absolute Superman is good. It's different, but it's good. I was reading Absolute Wonder Woman too. I like the Absolute Wonder Woman. That was cool. But yeah, that boy, that's rough, man. That's rough. Because it would be like, okay, it'd be like another example. Like there was a dude, like again, doing like he was using what he knew to hurt people, right? See that is a whole different level of what I think should be punished. Like if this was your profession to how to hurt people and you did it, like the other dude who I guess he got off. If you're doing that to go out and hurt people, that's your profession. You need to be punished like 3 times harder because you knew what you were doing. Right? Like there was another incident where it was like some Asian dude. He was poisoning. He would sneak upstairs to an apartment building and like he had because they caught him on camera. He had a syringe. He put the syringe under the door and like just like spray some shit under like some type of chemical under the door that was slowly making the family inside sick. And when they caught him on camera doing it, they immediately deported him. Let me see if I can find that. They deported him. And so he did like people who do shit like that really need, I don't care what happened. The fact that you were professionally trained in it and they're not, you need to get punished 3 times harder for that. Let me see it. It's for poisoning. Let me see if this is this it. Because they called him, it was like it was an apartment comp. Yeah, this is it right here. That's exactly it. Fox News. Who would have thought?
Our new tonight here at 10 o'clock, a pretty incredible story of a family of 3 wondering why their baby daughter kept getting sick and why they had a strange odor in their home. Was it their apartment? Was it the water? Well, when they saw this, a man injecting some sort of chemical through the bottom of their door into their home, they knew their lives could be in jeopardy. Fox 13's Jenny Lewis is here with us in studio tonight with this story.
Yeah, see, like, people like that need to get fucked up bad. They need to get fucked because you knew this is your field. It's not this. Chances are it's not their field. So you just gonna bully them at that point. Like, if you just gonna, like, yeah. So like, because some people will try to say like my channel, like I'm a bully. I've been told that, and no, like my thing is not. People confuse hard. People really confuse hard truth to bullying. Okay, a lot of people do that. I'm not a bully. I'll say some real shit that you maybe don't want to hear, but I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna elaborate, on it. I'll just tell you what it is, but I'm not gonna bully somebody. I'm not gonna go into my field and like poison people or whatever, or go call somebody that has something that I need from my field to come and and hurt you. I would, because it's not gonna be a fair fight. Here's the thing, even if it's a fair fight, there's a low chance that I would even like. Here's the thing, with my Russian friend, right? We was out hanging out, drinking, and we was talking, and he said he had been taking boxing lessons in Prague. We was walking. I said, I was like, oh shit, well, show me what they've been teaching you, right? And so I, take off my hat and sit my shit down, and we square up like, in the street. I said, yeah, she show me what they've been teaching you, and I could tell real fast like he's not in that world. Like he's probably just doing it as a hobby or exercise. He's not really like, I mean, I'm not a boxer, but like if we stepped in the ring, it really wouldn't be a fight. You know what I mean? Like it would be just for fun. It wouldn't be like a true competition. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying he can't fight. Maybe he could wrestle real great. I don't know, but boxing was definitely not his forte. But I'm not making fun of him. It's just one of those things. But I would never, after seeing how he squared up with me in the street that time, like I would never fight. I would never like fight him. Now that I know, I would never fight him. Seriously, I would never get mad and like seriously like physically try to hurt. Unless he did something really bad I didn't like. It would have to be something like abnormally wrong. Oh, yeah. But yeah, I was also on social media, and I hate social media because that shit is a straight dopamine rush, man. Like, that shit is like that shit is drugs. I'm scared of social media. But here's the thing, like, I'm trying to hold on to my Bob Dylan side, where he was like, the times they are changing. He was saying, don't criticize what you can't understand. And he's right. Bob Dylan was right about that. Like, because I'll never understand, like, what the 20-year-olds are living with right now. Because this is all they knew was a world that was different from my world. So, like, I'll never be able to understand, what their go-tos are and what they're seeing in something and how they're seeing and reading the things. I never understand it. So on one end, like, I don't want to completely alienate myself from social media because I don't want to, just stay ignorant. Like, I want to be able to at least to try to adapt, right? Because I was telling my dad a while back, about this situation, Like there's no difference in my brain and his mom's brain. Like we're humans, right? We're all humans. And so that whole thing of like old people don't use computers and all that, like that's a choice, man. Like the old person just didn't want to use a computer. They just didn't want to they just didn't want to adapt, right? They could have, they just didn't want to for whatever reason. So like to try to like stay, I mean, I'm sure I'm never going to be able to keep up. At some point, you know, life is just going to pass me by. But at least I want to try. But I can't keep up with like all the apps at one time. It's like people are like having like, this is my Twitter, this is my Instagram, this is my whatever. It's like all these different social medias, and it's all like linked. I'm guessing people are just like switching in and out of them like that. I'm like, oof, they keep it up, and then go to Discord and WhatsApp and blah blah blah. It's just like I could never keep up with all that like at one time and write everybody back, and I just can't do it. It's too much for me. But I don't want to make fun of it because I don't want to end up, you know, that old guy who just like makes fun of anything they don't know. Or just rejects anything they don't already know. I don't want to end up like that. But one thing is for sure, though. The dynamic between men and women always stays the same. The women are looking for the men with the most resources and the most protection. And the men are always looking for the prettiest women. The only time it changes, the only thing that changes in that is the time period of when it happens. For example, like I said this maybe about a year ago, like Elon Musk would be completely worthless 1,000 years ago, 500 years ago. Somebody like him would be completely worthless. Like his form of protection and money could do nothing 10,000 years ago, 100,000 years ago. So those women were just looking for the men of that time that could provide the protection that was needed of that time. Men were always pretty much looking for the same general woman. Right? If you take me, Genghis Khan, Adolf Hitler, Stalin, Martin Luther King, and Malcolm X, and you said us all that, if you said all these men in a room from all different time periods, King Tutankhamun, whatever the motherfucker's name is, King Tut, if you set all of us down, if you and Adam from Adam and Eve, if you got all these men together and set them down in a room and ask them what they want, it would all come back to the same thing, to the same exact thing too. Right? Now, if you set a woman down from 1,500 years ago, and then you set a woman down from now, and you set a woman down who's in the middle of getting, you know, slaughtered in the Holocaust, and you set a woman down who was at the dawn of agricultural revolution, it would change according to that time and what man can accumulate resources that were important at that time. They would all have different men they would find, you know, attractive based off the resources they could provide. Right. So it's like I said, like a woman from like at the dawn of the agricultural revolution, she might want a man who just owned like, you know, 100 yards worth of land and had like 3 dudes out there, tending to the fucking farmland kind of thing. Right? And that was like the highest their brains could go at the time. Now you go before the agricultural revolution, it could just been just a strong dude who could run fast. And that would have been, you know, what the women wanted. And they would all the women in that time period would generally say the same thing, right? It changes. That's the only thing that changes in the dynamic is women just want whatever is good at that specific time. There's nothing about a woman's existence that is of any permanence. Okay? Everything about a woman's existence is temporary. It's just temporary bullshit. What's good now, what's hot now, right? That's it. Men are more focused on permanence. And like I said, it comes back down to what men find desirable over 100,000 years. You get somebody from World War II, World War I, whatever the fuck you get them from the Civil War, doesn't matter. All these men would say that would have the same requirements at the core. They want a woman who's physically healthy, who's just nice, kind, and they can have sex with, and and they won't bitch too much, and that's it. Most guys we would all come to a complete agreement that that's what we want from all different walks of life. Doesn't matter, from Elon Musk to the hobo down the street, they'd all say the same thing. If we had our choice, that's what we would get. That's what we want. Women, no, don't work like that. It changes based off the decade. What decade are you in? What decade/century are you in? And it's going to change. In terms of every day. Now, overall, it's going to be resources, but in terms of like the specific resources, it's going to change. See, okay, a quick example. If let's say if Donald Trump and Melania Trump if they both went into a time machine and traveled 100,000 years into the past, right? Donald Trump would still have the same taste in women, but Melania Trump's taste in men would change completely. Right? Any man and woman, but I just like to use extremes to get my point across. Donald Trump would still want a woman who was, attractive in a way like a Melania Trump would be. But Melania Trump, Donald Trump can't do anything with millions of dollars 100,000 years ago in the past. He can't do shit with that. He's worthless. He can't run. He's out of shape. He has no sense of building anything for himself. He's useless. He'd be a worthless bum 100,000 years ago. Now Melania could go out there and still probably could go get some dick and some protection, but he couldn't get pussy. 100,000 years. If they literally, if them two went in a time machine right now and just both went back 100,000 years or 2,000 years, they couldn't do shit. Well, Donald Trump would be worthless. Hostile Evie, what's up, man? Oh, I'm good, man. Chilling. Oh, Rich, it says, I know it's irrelevant, but did you see what happened to your girl Brittany Renner? She got married, switched to Muslim, and got divorced in 3 months and dropped the Muslim act. And said, look, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Brittany Renner. That's rough, man. She found some fool to marry her. That's all it's gonna be. It's never gonna be a dude who's, wrapped too tight. It's gonna be a fool. Look, and this is why I say, man, when it comes to here's the thing. See, when it comes to things like religion, anything that requires order or anything like that, women don't like these things. Historically, there has never been a time in history where women have jumped to logic in any kind of way, even if it's bullshit logic, right? Like animals are talking and all this shit like that. If it's formed in structural behavioral logic, when women don't, or structural scientific logic, when women don't like this shit. They'll play pretend to like it if they think a man will take, if a man they want will like it. But here's the thing: very rarely will you come across a woman in life who will genuinely have a backbone for what she stands for. She's going to do whatever the man she wants likes. Even when it comes to donating to poor countries, donating to anybody. Women don't donate shit. They take shit. They don't give shit out for free. If you ever see a woman donating anything, it's because she's trying to impress a man who she thinks will be impressed by that. These things don't work. So when it comes to religion, women usually only do religion out of a sense of protection for whatever reason. It's very rarely like a St. Augustine. St. Augustine is a bit extreme, but I remember I was reading St. Augustine before my son was born. I'd walk around Prague with St. Augustine in my back pocket. I would like stop and like, get coffee or something like that in a random coffee shop and just start reading St. Augustine's Confessions. I think it was Confessions, St. Augustine, because he was talking about his life when he was small and talking about the logic of religion and blah, blah, blah. But he was a very serious Christian, which is more of an extreme case. I personally think he was almost more of a flagellate. For those of you who know what a flagellate is, he was a self-flagellate, I think, or flagellate. A flagellate is somebody who walks around and like okay. Centuries ago, people were so deep into religion that there's always an extremist in whatever you do, and these were groups of people who somehow thought they would be closer to God if they just walked through cities and beat themselves or beat themselves and beat their friends. They would just walk through villages and towns and cities like that. They just have these whips and they would just beat themselves or they would beat other people because they thought that it would get them closer to God, because it was still that logic that suffering must equal reward, right? It must equal reward. If you're suffering, then you must have a reward later. And I think St. Augustine was probably more of a philosophical flagellate than anything else. He just kind of found ways to continuously punish himself than anything else. But the core, what I was getting at is he was severely religious based off his own philosophical accord, right? His own doing. It wasn't because for protection or anything like that. It was for him, right? Because I was just playing this game, and I highly recommend anybody play this game who's into any kind of like religious stuff like that. It's a very short game, but that was the only game that almost brought tears to my eyes. It's called Indica. Let me type it in so people can see it. This game. Oh wait. I think it's a Slavic name too. This game, and this is a free advertisement because I think it was absolutely great. It's not a lot of action. It's more of a walking simulator kind of game, but like it was so quirky in its own way. It was amazing. And that is the only game because you read reviews of people saying it brought me to tears. This was the only game I've ever played that almost brought me to tears, because there's a part at the end that it was like a psychological situation. I can't think of the right word. It was a psychological situation that was just like fucked up. Not like fucked up in like, a baby's got, some cheap way, like something FromSoft would do, like, oh, it's zombies, this type of cheap shit. I'm talking like it was a real psychological, like the fucked up situation that happened. Like not something cheap either. I just hate zombies. I hate zombies. I want to play that new Silent Hill game, but it's like when I see a zombie, I just immediately feel like, yeah, like this is, when I see zombie, I immediately think, okay, yeah, the people who made this have no real character, because it's just a cheap way out to just make something scary. Zombies are just terror. I hate zombies. I want to play Resident Evil, but it's just filled with zombies, so I can't play it because it's just cheap. I don't like zombies, but I highly recommend this game, Indica. This game was about religion, and you play as a nun who has to take a letter somewhere, and you meet a guy along the way, and you're going with him, and he's just like off, but he's cool, but he's off. I can't tell too much without spoiling it, but it tells how she got into religion, and I don't want to even spoil that, but it was a really good game. I highly recommend anybody to play it. It's a short game. It's like 3 hours long, but I prefer short games. I don't like when games are 20 hours long or higher. Like God of War Ragnarok, in my opinion, was a terrible game. It was just filled with padding that was just useless. Like 95% of God of War Ragnarok and the other God of War, 90% of those games, 90% of that was just a complete waste of goddamn time. And even now, I tried to install God of War Ragnarok, and I just deleted it. Like it's just worthless. It's just filled with too much worthless padding. Like I prefer games like this that'll just get to the point, and it's not this whole like danger, like fight room, fight room, fight room, a tidbit of information, fight room, fight room, fight room, some cinematic that we really didn't even need, fight room, fight room, fight room. Like it's just worthless. Like I prefer game. I would prefer a shorter game that just gets to the fucking point. And I think that's why I kind of went back to reading comic books, because the video games are just gotten either I'm playing old games now, majority old games, or I'm just reading comic, because the new games are just all terrible. It was so funny AD, because she was covering her whole body, not showing anything. But as soon as she got divorced, she posted a pic saying, "I'm back, y'all." Yeah. Well, yeah, that's generally how women are gonna be, man. Like, just never ever put your hope. And I don't say this to sound like, I don't say this to be mean towards women or anything, but it's just the reality of the situation. If you want to stay mentally healthy, never put all your hope into a woman or money. Because women and money are very similar in the sense. Okay, when I say money, I mean like one job. Never put all of your eggs in one basket. Okay, never put all your hope into one woman or one job. Okay, because just like women and jobs, like women only want you once they know you have a woman, and other jobs want you once they know you have a job. Like it's both of those are the same. They're very similar. Women and employment are two very similar situations. Never ever, as a man, never ever put all your hopes and emotions into any one job or any one woman. Never do it. Because because literally within a week, your whole life could be flipped upside down with that one woman or job. I'll tell a quick story about a guy I met. Actually, I met him walking down the street when my dad was here. I was walking down the street with my dad, and this dude was walking a dog. Actually, I got to ask him about that dog, because he didn't have the dog last time. He was walking a dog. And I said, "Oh, excuse me." And he said, "Oh, he said, oh, there's no problem." I said, "Where you from?" He goes, "I'm from New York. Where you from?" I said, "I'm from Ohio." He goes, "What? Really? Like it's crazy. Like we bumped into each other like that." Because he doesn't look American. Like he looks like he's a little brown. He's not like brown, but he's light brown, right? He can still pass for white, kind of thing. And so we was talking, and he was telling me how his baby's mother left him for a dude who lives across the street from him, and she moved in with him across the street. And he's all fucked up because we hung out yesterday. And his daughter played with my son. Well, as much as she could, because my son just cried the whole time. Because he's just a little too small. And she's like going on 5, and my son's 3. So he was just a little, she's more like a human, and my son is still a baby. So like she was open to play with him, but he just cried the whole time. But we still tried to make it work. But he was just telling me, how his ex just like completely, he said he just didn't see it coming at all. He's 50 and she's 37, I think he said. And he said, yeah, she just changed. Like he didn't see it coming. It just happened like overnight. Like she just completely flipped on him and started saying all these different things, that she never said before, in terms of like seeing other people and all this stuff like that. Like he said she just changed how she dressed, how she was walking and talking, all that changed. And I didn't do the whole "I told you so" thing or anything like that. But I just let him talk. Because he was saying he thought he was done. He was 50 years old and he thought he was done. He thought he was done, dating and all that. And like, I just don't understand how people like maybe again, maybe I'm gonna read it. Thanks for the donation, man. I'm gonna read that off in a minute, man. I'm definitely gonna read that off in a minute. Maybe it was because when I was running hookers in Ohio and I just heard how they talked about men. I just heard how they, because hookers hang out with like regular women, to some regular women. They'll be friends with them and all that. And when you just hear how women really talk about men, like you just lose all that sense of like that deeper sense of like devotion and trust. Like you just lose, I just can't put that much into my spouse. Like I trust her, you know, if I tell her to like clean something or do something, like she like I trust her to do it. I trust her to call the phone company because they fucked up my phone bill because I don't speak Czech. Like I trust her to do these things and to lower the bill. But there's a certain sense of a deeper trust that like I just don't have for people, especially women. I'll have it for another man before I have it with a woman. And not to sound like I'm like gay or something, but the sense of like of feeling completely comfortable, right? Like I know, like, you know, but even then I'm still, you know, a little weary. But like I learned it running hookers back in Ohio. When you just hear how women really talk about men and like how deep it goes, like how deep the act of woman goes. Like most men are just simply not aware at how deep the act of being a woman goes and how much women know they can get away with because they're a woman and they know you won't question it or you won't call them out on it or you'll just talk yourself into making up an excuse for her behavior and all. Like if most men were truly aware of how deep the woman persona truly is, I think a lot of men would commit suicide. I don't think they can handle it. Like what's that dude's name? Not Patrice O'Neal, Corey Holcomb. They would talk. They said somebody asked him. They said, "Do you think men can handle how often women cheat or they can cheat?" And he goes, "No, like most men can't handle that." And it's true. Most men just cannot handle that shit. They can't handle that brutal. And here's the thing: you can't tell by looking at them. Now there are some signs you can tell, but overall, you can't tell. There's no way to tell. Okay, there's girls who look like they're perfect church-going girls, and those girls are getting in the most. Okay, because they know the game. They know you're going to think she's a church girl, and she'll get away with it. Or she may not even think about being a church girl. It's just what she does, right? And she knows she can get away with it, right? If most men were fully aware of it, I think, you know, with all these guys on social media hating red pill and all that, if most men were really aware, if they really got to read the messages that their wives and girlfriends were sending to other women and other men about them, if they really seen that, right? If they really seen, or not even their own wife, like somebody else's wife, if they really heard how women really talk about men, especially when they think no men are around or listening. Oh my God. I remember I got to tell this story a while back. I was on an underground train headed to go teach at this other bank, right? And if you're watching, a friend of mine in Ireland, if you're watching, this is right before I came to come see you out in Ireland, man. I was on an underground train, and this girl, she has an accent, but she's speaking English, and she's like loud, you know, like loud, speaking completely fluent English. You know, I could tell she's from the UK, but I couldn't tell where. And she's just going on the phone. She's talking to her girlfriends on the phone saying, like, well, I know Derek liked you. Well, if Derek liked you, well, he likes you. So just take all the stuff. Oh, he's moving out? Well, just take it before he moves out. He does it because he likes you. He likes you. He's not going to do anything. Just take all the stuff. I mean, she's like going on. I'm like, I'm talking loud. Because if you look at me, you can't tell, you know, they don't know that you won't automatically assume I can speak fluent English. And I'm sitting like right across from her. Right? And she's like, I'm talking going off. Like, just take all the stuff. He likes you. He's not gonna do anything to you. Look, you had sex with him, didn't you? Well, take all his stuff before he comes home. And she's like coaching her up on this shit. And she's a girl who does not look like the type who would do this, right? So after she gets off the phone, gave it a while. I said, hey, where are you from? And she goes, oh, I'm from Ireland. I said, oh, word, I'm ready to go to Ireland soon. If you're watching, this is right before I came to see. I said, I'm ready to go to Ireland soon. And then I could tell she sat down and thought about it, and she remembered everything she just said on the phone. And I can understand everything she said because my English is, of course, fluent like hers, right? And I wasn't even mad at her because, again, I know how women talk when they think no man is around to hear how they truly are. I know it. I'm not surprised. I wasn't mad. I didn't get called her out on it, anything. I just talked to her. Told her, yeah, I'm getting ready to go to Cork and blah, blah, blah. I got a friend up there, and she was from there. And, she go, oh, yeah, Ireland's a really nice place. But she, her face, froze for a second because she remembered everything she just said, and I heard everything. But yeah, if most men knew, if most men were aware of that, of how women really talk about you behind your back, most men would commit. I think the vast majority of men would just commit suicide. They just couldn't handle it, or they would just be incredibly angry, all the time. Let me read this donation off real fast. 6 minutes ago, Eric G. Thanks a lot, man. AD. Sorry, this is off topic, but what is your method or philosophy for cold approaching hot women? Just approach them and just say anything. Just approach them. I mean, if you see a girl you like, just approach them and say, here's the thing, because everybody's going to be nervous. Okay, Eric, let me make one thing very, any guy who claims he's not going to be nervous, especially if he likes a girl, is fucking lying to you and he's trying to sell you some date, pickup artist bullshit. Okay. Everybody is going to be at least, generally speaking, most people are going to be at least a little nervous, especially if it's a girl that they really like, a person that they really like, boy or girl, right? Man or woman. You're going to be nervous. The hardest part is going into a tornado, right? Talking, cold approaching, doing anything in life is like walking into a tornado, mentally speaking, right? Once you walk into the tornado, now you know what's going on. It's calm. There's no wind blowing. You chilling. Right? But psychologically, you got to go through all that distance, all that damage that the tornado's making before you get in there. Right now, if you get in there, maybe she just don't like you. Or here's the thing, and here's the other part. If you get rejected, this is a part that I always stress, especially to younger guys. See, just because a woman might turn you down, right? You're going to approach. See, 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, she's not turning you down because she doesn't even know you. Okay? She's not turning you. She's not turning me down. It could be a combination of anything. It could be she had a bad day earlier that day. Maybe she thinks she looks bloated, because she has a thing where she looks down, she sees her belly hanging out, so she thinks she looks bloated, so now she doesn't want to talk. She can't imagine herself, dating anyone right now. It could be anything. So this is the other part. If men knew how deep the persona of woman goes. When women reject men, dude, 10 times out of 10, it has nothing to do with you because she doesn't know you at all. Now, if y'all was hanging out because y'all was friends of friends and you kind of seen each other walking around and you was even damn near living together and she knew you and turned you down, now that's a different story. But cold approaching people, she doesn't know you. So another hard part, and I always explain this to young guys, is even if you get rejected, you're gonna take it a little personal, but you have to remember that she doesn't know you personally. So in reality, the reality of the situation is, if she says yes or no, it's not a personal yes or no because she doesn't know you personally. She knows you for that 2 seconds you walked up to her, and she analyzed you for another 7/10 of a second. You know, and based off how she felt that way, she made a decision to keep the conversation going or not, whether she loved you or hated you, right? And then also the other side of that, right? So let's say you approach her and she says yes, right? Okay, cool. She says yes, she gave you a number, and then you text her later and she never writes you back, or you text her later and you two hit it off, whatever, or it maybe fizzles out in a week or a month, whatever, or maybe you get married, right? But let's say on the downside, let's say it doesn't work out, right? And you get rejected. And then you still leave your feelings a little bit, whatever. But then see, and here's where those black pill guys get everything completely confused and fucked up. You see, when you got rejected by that girl, there was another girl somewhere who liked you for real, and you just don't know, right? There is always a job or a woman who would happily come in and pay you 3 times more than what you're making now, but you just don't know. We can't, because we can't read minds. Right. So, I mean, I'm not saying don't feel depressed, don't be nervous. You're going to get depressed and you're going to get nervous, but you have to keep moving. My philosophy is just making the action is 95% of the battle right there. Just make the action. Just don't, the longer you going to stand there and think about it, the bigger. I was telling my spouse this about just life and accomplishments in general. The longer you stand in one area, what's this? Let me hope I don't break something. The longer you stand in one area, right? Move this so you can see the example I'm going to try to make, which I'm probably going to fuck it up, but we're going to try it anyway. The longer you stay, like let's say this is you, right? And the sun's slowly coming over you, right? The sun is slowly coming over. The longer you stand in one place, that shadow from this light slowly gets bigger and bigger, right? It's probably a horrible way to explain it, but as the sun comes over you, the sun being the fear of acting, right? The sun is the fear of acting. This is you. As that sun gets bigger, the longer you sit there and think, that fear is getting bigger, right? And as that fear gets bigger, it's casting a bigger shadow over you. And if you let that fear keep growing to become bigger and bigger, that shadow will grow to be so big and so far out that you can't even see the end of the shadow anymore. I got that from Senua, from Senua Sacrifice, Part 1. That was a great example, because she was talking to her lover in that, and he told her that example. That fear will grow a shadow over you from your own body. That will grow, and that shadow will get so big and grow so long that you won't even be able to see the end of the shadow no more. You're just stuck in fear all your life. And a lot of people end up like that. Let me pull this one dude up, because I've been meaning to bring him up. I meant to bring this dude up a lot. Oh man. It was this old white dude, man, and he was afraid to ask his girl on a date, and he's real soft spoken, and it pops up in my feed from time to time. It was this old white dude. He's kind of fat. Oh God, and he was real soft spoken, and it pops up in my feed. From time, I was like, who's that? Seeing a white dress and a nice ass. It was this old white dude, and he had a lot of views too. And it pops up in my feed every now and then. Oh man. This dude, here it is, right here. So somebody reposted this because it has a lot of views. Oh, and they playing music on top of it too. Yeah, somebody reposted this. I wonder what the original one is.
Part of my junior year and all of my senior year, I was attending high school on a base in Japan. While I was there, I met this girl. We got to know her through her brother. She was a big girl and everything. And she got a job in the NCO club where I was washing dishes. She was busting tables. And we flirted all the time, and we talked and laughed and cut up. We really had a lot of chemistry. But I was just a shy, fat, sit-faced, I mean, no self-esteem at all. And I never did anything about it. And one night, I was at the movie theater, and I saw her in the distance, another part of the parking lot, walking in to go see the same movie, and she was by herself. And I went and sat. I was sitting. I went in the theater, and I saw where she was sitting, because it was just like the big neon sign, "Come sit with me," so, and I didn't do it. I sat there, more, just too shy and too insecure. I was rooted in this chair, seated in the theater. And then I watched the movie, went home, didn't think any more about it. I was used to doing crap like that, my teenage years were terrible. Well, the next time I saw her at the NCO club, I asked her if she enjoyed the movie. She said it sucked. She came in, she was throwing trays around, slamming things, and she was pretty angry. And finally, she came back a little later after she calmed down. She said, guys are supposed to make the first move. And that was the end of that, So anyway, I'm 63 years old, and I still think about her, and I still think about that night. And I wrote a story about it.
See, somebody reposted that and put music all over it and fucked it up. But now I agree with that saying, yeah. It might have been. My thing, look, go out and fuck up, man. I used to do, I remember when I got over a lot of that, because I was shy too in high school. And I remember after high school, I would go up and just approach like the prettiest girl. After high school. I remember one time, because I never liked going to clubs. And my friends always go to clubs. So I went to a club one time with them. And these beautiful girls walked in. And I went up to the prettiest one and asked her if she wanted to dance. And she was like, sure. And we danced. And then she went off the rest of the night. Didn't hear back from her. But when it comes to these things, when it comes to these situations, there's times where you're just gonna be afraid. Okay, it's gonna happen. Sometimes you might just be too afraid. I get it. But at some point in your life, you have got to get up and just dive into the fucking fire, dude. As a man, you got to do it. Don't end up being 63 years old and and not having a story that can, like, show that you overcame it. Right? Don't end up 63 years, especially for a fucking woman. Because 10 times out of 10, the woman probably wasn't even worth it anyway, for real. You know what I mean? Like, she was probably, but it's that thing, like, don't stay stuck in your fear of it. You got to keep going and grow. Women do great staying big cowards. That's how they essentially survive, is being cowards. Because any other way, they just die. So women are great at being cowards. Like, women seriously, like, excel at being cowards, but men don't. Women excel at going, maybe. Hell no. I'm scared. Women excel at being cowards. Men don't. You gotta, you have to put yourself in a position where you end up completely lost and panicked. You have to continuously do that to grow. Because if you're not in a position where you're not going to be completely lost, maybe not. I think you kind of grow out of being you grow out of panic, but you can't. It's impossible to grow out of being completely lost, because you can always be lost in something. You have to put yourself in situations where you are completely lost as a man and keep doing it, because that gives you that because you're growing. That's why I say women don't grow in righteous ways, because women don't do these things. Most women will not do these things because they're scared. They're cowards. Men have to. That's wild. Still thinking about a woman you missed at 18, at 63 is wild. There wasn't other women in between. Yeah, man. Like, because I mean, we all had a girl. We've all had girls we liked, you know, that we were scared of, whatever. But I mean, my thing is have a story, definitely like have a story later in life that can like completely pounce that one to where it's like pretty much unforgettable. I mean, to where it's pretty much forgettable to you. But yeah, we've all been in, you know, as you age, everybody's been in love with a girl that didn't even like them and, you know, all that silly shit. Let me tell you, AD, you can't go up to girls for dances in America anymore. Need a section, chain, 6. Oh, word? It's gotten to be like that? It's gotten to be like that out there? You can't even go up, like, you can't approach girls? Like, is it like just socially awkward to do that now in the club? I'm not a club person, but like I just don't even know what to tell younger guys now for in these situations. Because when I was hanging out with the guy yesterday or day before yesterday, I can't remember, but he's 50 and he's American, so he remembers, you know, both times before he remembers more than I do, times before online dating and all this. So we were talking about it, and he said, yeah, he's never used online dating. He never had to. He just, you know, approached, you know, his time was like that, like my time. Like we just approached people, and you had to try it. But that was also before social media was out, and social media, it just destroyed women's minds. It just completely melted their brains. So now it's this whole, you know, it's just. I don't know what to tell younger guys. I really don't. Outside of if you're in the West, just leave the West and go somewhere else. That's about. Or if you're in the West, you better develop like a great charismatic attitude. Something, you know, you got to develop either a great an attitude. I mean, a great charismatic personality, or you got to do something absolutely amazing. And even then, you might still have a hard time for a while. But, yeah. These chicks in the States are basically hookers who don't like being called that, but brag on getting over on men. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like at least back in my day, if you took a woman out to eat, like you were pretty much guaranteed to get sex at some point from most of them. If you made it that far to where you were going out on a date, you were at least going to get like some type of physical contact from her, you know, during a date. It's pretty like it was almost synonymous from how I remember it. It was pretty much synonymous. But by the time you were like meeting up, and then, you know, you go back to her place, like you're going to do something. Nowadays, women, after online dating came out, women just used it strictly as just a free dinner. Like, the nervousness comes from the fear of confirming that we may not be attractive after all, and scarcity. Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, like my perspective is going to be different from the younger generation's perspective on that, because in my generation, when I was 20, like that's all we had, so that's all we knew. We didn't know a time of like being able to do like a lot of talking, you know, all online through text messaging before we met up. kind of thing. Like we didn't grow up, we didn't really do that. As we had text messaging, but even then, text messaging was really not like any way, shape, or form a primary form of communication. You know, for most people, it was always kind of seen as BS. Where now people are setting up whole meetings through text messages. You know what I mean? It's like a it's a thing. So I just don't know. You know, I just don't know how 20-year-olds now are seeing it. But women, again, as long as everything stays cowardly, women are going to excel. They're going to do great. As long as everything stays in a cowardly manner, women will do, they're going to clean up. Okay. As long as people can hide behind phones and hide behind shit, women will do amazing. You don't have to worry about them. Women didn't string men along as much 20 years ago. Yeah, that's true. Well, I can't really completely speak on that because I've been here for 10 years. But yeah, but before online dating, it was definitely like before online dating, for those guys who were like 20, before online dating was the norm. Girls were a bit more they were a bit more realistic about their position in dating. Like I said, like a chubby bitch 20 years ago she would never call herself goddess. Okay, she would get fucking roasted in public if she went outside the house wearing a shirt that said goddess on it. Motherfuckers would just point at her and laugh from across the mall. Now, the women are so mentally lost that you'll find like chubby bitches in America just think they're with attitudes. It's really like, oh God. You mean like an Amber Heard type bitch was like a regular white woman back in like she was not anything. She was not any kind of beauty or anything like that. Like that. What Amber Heard was like these pretty much most female celebrities you see nowadays, in America, or either they just look flat out mannish, or they're just regular old women. You know what I mean? Like the girl I was talking about, Talina, whatever that bitch name, Tina Taylor, Tina Turner, whatever her name is. Like she looks like a man. Like I would think that would be if I were to see her, I would assume she was a tranny. Let me see. What was her name? Tiana Turner. What's this? Is that her? I don't know what this bitch name is. Yeah, like okay, like if I was to see this. If I was to see that, my first thought is that is a man named Antoine. Okay, like I wouldn't even think that was a woman. The women the women that you guys have now in mainstream media either look like men or they just like some regular old just kind of funny looking bitch. That was like back when I was in high school. These were women that like everybody secretly said to themselves, I'd fuck her. But you had to like convince yourself you would like yeah, like okay, let's take like, and I'm not saying this to make fun of motherfuckers. I'm saying this just out of all honesty, you know what I mean, of how times changed. Like this is a girl 20, 30 years ago. This is a girl who, well, first off, she looks like she's on drugs. Okay. If I were to see a girl like this, 20, and I'm only being honest. I'm not trying to be mean. I would think she's cute. Okay. I think Jennifer Lawrence is hot. Because I'd like that type of, I've always liked that type of build on a woman like what Jennifer Lawrence is. But I can humbly say that like most of my friends would have made fun of me for liking Jennifer Lawrence. Most people I knew, even my family members, would have made fun of me for liking Jennifer Lawrence. I've always liked that type of body. Now, this girl, as an adult, like first, I would assume she's on drugs. I would still say, yeah, she's kind of cute, but and I'm not exaggerating. I'm not trying to make fun of her, but I've known drug, like legit heroin addicts that look like that, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, and they were sucking dick for like $10. Right? And just to be honest, I'm not saying she sucks dick for $10, but what I'm saying is I've known women that look exactly like that who suck dick for $10. Okay. I feel sorry for see, so but you guys who are like 20 years old now, let's just do female stars, female celebrities. Let's do this. Okay, see, like now, I can't think of her name. She played in Batman. Anne Hathaway. I'm not talking about. I'm going to skip over the women who were popular from my time. Let's do newer, younger female celebrities. Yeah, see, like this shit. like that. Like the girl who played Enola Holmes. Like me and my spouse talked about this. Because here's the because I have to tell my spouse. Because women just don't know. Right? We talked about the girl who played Enola Holmes. Because she has like a man-sounding name. Okay, I'm gonna call this exactly from my opinion. My opinion means nothing. I'm a nobody. But this is my opinion at being 40 years old of what I think these younger female stars are. And this is what the 20-year-old guys are growing up with. Okay. This is pedophilia. Borderline pedophilia. I mean, not much. Yeah, see, this is the girl that would be in your English class that would have an attitude. And she thought she'd be an artist when she gets older. And she have a little attitude. And she dresses how she feels. I don't know who any of these people. Yeah, that's her, Millie Bobby Brown. See, Millie, yeah, no. I liked her as Enola Holmes. But in terms of like trying to like turn her into a beauty symbol, absolutely not. No. Like a motherfucker wouldn't be excited to see her. I don't even know who this is, but she's cute. She's cute. Now she's hot. I don't know who this is. Isabella Merced. She's hot. Now she belongs there. I'll give her that. She belongs there. She does too. I'll give her that. She belongs there. She needs to do independent movies. Who is this? Mackenzie Foy? I don't know who that is. But she needs to do independent movies. She would be that cute girl in independent movies. She's cool. Is he green? She alright. Yeah, those alright. I don't know who any of these people are. I've never heard of any of these people. I don't know how they act. But yeah, she's cool. I think she's cool. She's just an alternative one. She's alright. This is just a regular old Slavic looking girl. Okay, now let's be clear. Okay, now I'm sorry, I'm only speaking on American. Now over in Prague, you see girls like this all the time. Dude, like a girl like her would be working at the coffee shop down the street in Prague. Now in America, these women would be goddesses in America. But if you come to Prague, all the ones that I said belong there, like all these, dude, you will literally see this coming out of a tram station. All right, this would be making your coffee at Starbucks here. And now in America, she's a complete goddess. But over here, literally in Prague, that's a completely normal shit here. And I'm willing to bet she's probably Slavic, whoever this is. I'm actually curious because she looks like she's Slavic. I'm gonna search it. I'm curious. She was born in Pittsburgh, but I can't really tell what were her parents, the last name of her parents. And shit's in fucking check. Hang on. I don't know. She looked a little more American in this picture. Maybe it was just that other picture that made her look more exotic. But I'm still kind of curious. Yep, Polish. There it is right there. Yeah. Can you guys see that? Polish. She looked a little more exotic in the other picture. But that's definitely Polish for sure. The Polish side. This side of her looks more German. And that side definitely looks more Polish. Yo, thanks for the $1, man. Let me read this. 80, I watched the series Landman. Or Sandman, maybe. And there was a scene with a cute girl who was escorting. The guy said she chose the shortcut and easy way. They end up in a hardest and long way because the cute chicks end up old and washed up. Yeah. Yeah. Oof. Okay, I'll be honest. Like, so these girls are kind of cute. I knew a girl who looked just like this. She was Greek, though. I wonder if this girl's Greek. I knew a girl who looked exactly like this. I thought it was her at first. I'm willing to bet she's probably Greek because the girl I knew was Greek. What does it say? Yeah, let's say. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. But I'll be fair, these girls look, again, maybe I'm just that far separated from the U.S. Yeah, like she's a little off. That's the girl was Snow White or something like that. Yeah, that shit needs to go. I like her. Who's that? Asha Banks. I like her. Yeah, these girls look alright. Maybe it's just ones I'm seeing on social media and they're just rough. 'Cause these girls don't look bad. I was wrong. I don't know if they're super popular or not, but these girls look alright. They're clean. But like I said, if you were to come to Prague, like this is like the norm, walking the streets of Prague. It's not in it, like it's nothing special. Like just looking like that would not be enough to get a woman anywhere in Czech Republic. And pretty much, I wouldn't even say Prague. I would say in Czech Republic in general, just looking like these girls would not be enough to get them anywhere except maybe porn. They could work in prostitution. Probably not even porn. They'd get a good job in prostitution. The girl Shannon Sharp paid $30 million. Jesus Christ. Why did Shannon Sharp even have to pay $30 million? Who was the girl? That's horrible. Look, she need to be killed for that. If my philosophy is this, which is gonna be, I don't give a fuck what the bitch look like. Okay. Here's my philosophy on it. This is my philosophy. I'm not saying I'm right. But this is my philosophy. I don't care how much money Shannon Sharp got. I don't care if he was Bill Gates. If Shannon Sharp or Bill Gates was fucking her and they fell out, and if the court awarded her $30 million of Bill Gates, let's just say it's Bill Gates money, right? Let's say it's Warren Buffett. If Warren Buffett, if the court awarded $30 million of Warren Buffett's money to this woman, I'd be like, all right. Now, if I don't see a $30 million deposit into my account after the court gave you that money, or I got to give it to, if I don't get that money right, look, by the time I got enough money to give you 30 million, I got enough money to make you come up missing. So that choice is up to you. Okay, if you want to take that risk. That's all I'm gonna say about that. I'd be too scared to take the money. If I know I didn't deserve that shit, if I know I didn't deserve $30 million, like if I for real knew I didn't deserve it, and the court said here, cause see that is street logic. That's that street logic. Okay, you only take what you know you deserve. Okay, and be fair about it. Right, be fair. I don't give a fuck how much money it is, any of that. Right, I don't give a fuck about it. Okay, take what you, if something really, okay, let's say Shannon Sharp wrecked her car and burned her house down, whatever, right? I don't care. The courts can say I gotta pay you that. The courts can say whatever the fuck they want. But street logic is a whole nother game than what the court's gonna do. Right? Now the courts can say I gotta give you 30 million. Right? But we still got street logic 5 feet outside that court. And it's up to you it's up to you to do that math. If I got enough money to just hand you 30 million, I got enough resources to make you come up missing. Because your life is worth a whole lot less than 30 million. All right, this bitch like this, her life wasn't worth $12.17. Okay, I bet you she ain't had that in her bank account. And she takes that money. Now, if you can choose to take the money, but just know there are gonna be some consequences if you choose to take that money. Just because Judge Jacob Ramirez told you can take 30 million from me, don't mean that you get to keep that shit. Okay, that street side will come out real fast. I'm I'm not gonna be surprised she comes up missing. See that is the courts becoming so lost in reality. See, because the court system used to be good with not over punishing people, because they would realize that over punishing people just made them just resent, the courts and resent the other person that they did the crime to or whatever, right? So they wouldn't do it. But this whole woman strong, woman push thing started coming up. And see, now they're getting ready to get women killed doing that. You see, I hope every courtroom here, you about to start getting women killed doing shit like this. Where the fuck do you got the logic to give that he got to pay her $30 million? That bitch life wasn't worth $1,000. That worthless tramp. I don't give a fuck who she is. All right, her life wasn't worth. I guarantee she didn't have $1,000 in her bank account at the time of judgment. And you talking about 30 million. All right. I give it to you, but you better be giving it right back. You will come up missing. It just is what you go to these poor countries. A motherfucker will come up missing for $3,000 in these poor countries. You look, whatever judge authorized that, just put a $30 million price on that bitch head. As far as I'm concerned, you put a $30 million fucking. You put a $30 million price on her head, in my book. And I know I'm not the only person who sees it like that. She come up missing. It ain't about her going broke. Well, she's gonna go broke because she's a woman. She's gonna lose it. You know, she's gonna. Oh, I think I should feel. I feel like spending money. She's gonna go broke. But that is the principle of the matter. I can see, 100,000. Well, I mean, honestly, not even 100,000 for real, because she ain't worth that. They gonna fuck like. Watch, it's gonna happen. It's not, maybe not with this one, but if the courts keep doing shit like this, they just keep giving women just copious amounts of money, kind of thing. Like, dude, you're literally putting a hit out on her. At this point, you putting it. She don't even know where to put 30 million. Ask this dumb bitch where to even put $30 million. Does she even know? Does she know that the bank's only insure up to 100,000? I mean, like, she don't even know what to do with 30 million. She don't know where to put it. That fucking tramp. That's terrible. That's awful. You know what? No. I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I got friends with millions. There is no way I would even dream. Even if something happened where they would give me some of their money, I would never dream of keeping it. Unless something got damaged and to pay for that damage. I'm not seeking out people to take money. That's horrible. They put a $30 million price tag on that bitch head, thinking that they empowering women. And then put that shit in the news so everybody know. Because they dumb as hell. A 20-year-old OnlyFans model. A 20-year-old tramp. Are you fucking kidding me? He was sued for $50 million by the. That shit. Look. The NFL legend was sued by $50 million. That sounds like something a 9-year-old would do in court. Like, I'm gonna sue you for $50 million. I'm gonna sue you for $80 million. That sounds ridiculous, man. Are you fucking serious? That shit sound like something my son would say. He's 3. He just make it up. That these dumb motherfuckers took that shit serious. America is doomed. Are you fucking kidding me right now? She tried to walk in there and sue for $50 million. That sounds like something you find in elementary school. All right, that's not something grown people do. Just be walking up, be like she need to come. Look, I advocated she needs to come up unless she does. Okay, if she doesn't get that money right back, she needs to come up missing. Period. She don't deserve that. I don't care what happened. Ain't nothing about your life worth $1 million. Shannon Sharp was out there getting his fucking head knocked off and I mean, this bitch just walked around after she took a bath and opened a hole, and now she's entitled to $50 million. That's prostitution at its finest, dude. Shannon Sharp reportedly did not pay $50 million to settle the lawsuit filed by a 20-year-old. It was consensual BDSM arrangement, meaning rough sex 100 times from. Look, she's a fucking tramp, dude. Are you fucking serious? He paid $23 million. What? Look, man. Look at that. See, no, hell. See, I'm from the suburbs. Okay, but I understand street logic. Why the fuck did look? By the time you had to start thinking, I got to pay her $100,000, your brain should not be going towards, I have to pay her. It's how do I get rid of her at that point? Her life is not worth $1 million. There's nothing about that. Beyonce's pussy ain't worth $500. All right. I don't understand how guys do this shit. These rappers and sports, I don't understand how they do. Like, I don't get it. 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 The fact that any millions at all and a woman's name, unless she got up there and sang her ass off or something like that, is not worth any more than $500 at max. I don't care if I was Bill Gates. Okay. Would you spend 500? Okay. Would you spend? Okay. Think about it in terms of like candy bars, right? Let's say like right now, let's say you work at like Walmart, and you go see a Snickers bar at Walmart. Let's say you work there, and on your break, you go buy a Snickers candy bar for about what? I don't know how much they cost, like $2, something like that. Maybe like, and you go eat it, like, that's a good Snickers bar. It's delicious. Then let's say like 10 years later, right? You go out and you get a real good job working at like Google and make like $500,000 a year. And then you see a Snickers bar, but this Snickers bar costs like $300, right? Like a dude like me, I'm just not eating Snickers bars then. I'm just gonna go eat something else. Like, I know some guys would just go, oh, okay, well, I'm here, so I might as well spend $300. No. That Snickers bar is I know where that Snickers bar costs $2. Look, I will buy 1,000 Snickers bars in bulk from Walmart and have it shipped to where I am now. People know me now in Prague. There is some stuff I just refuse to buy in Prague because I know the real price of it in North America. And they getting over on people out here because they don't know. Because they think America is exotic to them. If you find a website where they selling American food, I think I showed you guys these websites before. Let me show you real fast. Let me show you Raymond. It was these websites that sell what? No, it's like Manchurian. It's like the Manchurian or whatever the fuck that is. And these websites are selling that shit for like $100. Yeah, this is it. Oh, now it says it's not available. But they sell when they for sale. They sell them for like $100 for a pack of ramen noodles. Oh no, I know another one. What was the Wild Irish Rose, this alcohol. Let me see if I can find. This is gonna be in America, cause I gotta find a Czech site so I can show you as an example how much they sell Wild Irish Rose for. This is America. Yeah, because here it's $5 here. That's a good price for Wild Irish Rose now, as far as I know, in North America. Over here they sell it for like $80 if I can find it. an American site. Oh, if I can't find it. Because I showed it to my dad. The reason why I know is because when I seen it, I sent it to my dad. And he just started busting out laughing when he seen it. Because they sell wild Irish Rose. Wild Irish Rose is like the cheap alcohol that you get sick off of it. I think it tastes good, but it's like cheap bullshit. In America, it's cheap. Here, they sell it literally for like $80. I just can't find it right now. Let's see, duty free. No, it's not going to be a duty free. Let's do, oh yeah, I just can't even find it. Okay, fuck it. It's over. I just can't find it. Some off here in a minute anyway. Can't find it. Fuck it. But anyway, the moral of the story is if I know something is cheaper somewhere else, I refuse to buy it for like double or triple the price somewhere. Even like, I'll just refuse to buy it. I'm just not doing it. Who's worse? But I'm gonna let y'all go after this. Flick, here's the thing, Flick, and I've said this before. Like, who's worse with women? It tends to be the guys who you think should be the best with them because they should have experience with them. But those usually are the worst ones. Like, for example, every guy who I ever known who worked at Show Park as a manager or something like that, and they would like see, and you know they would talk to the women, know the women. Every guy I knew that worked in a brothel ended up being completely pathetic with women outside the brothel. Like completely pathetic. You would think that they would be the ones who would know, but every guy, one guy I knew when his girlfriend broke up with him, he just went to the brothel and literally gave the girls like his entire life savings to get over the girlfriend who dumped him. He just kept going until he couldn't go anymore. That's one guy. I won't go into the others because they get a little more personal. But he legit went. I mean, and you would think that they would know, but it's always the guys that you would think should have more experience with hussies. But it's usually like those are the guys who usually end up just like falling for the persona of woman over anything else and just like completely crumbling. I would say dealing with women is like trying heroin. Okay, it's really one of those do or die situations where like for example, when I tried heroin, like I tried it and I'll never touch it again because I know what it does. I know what it does and how it feels. I would never touch it again. Now somebody else might try heroin and get completely addicted to it because they just it just hit them wrong. And there's no way to know which guy you'll be unless you just try heroin. You just have to. There's no other way to imitate it. And I'm not saying go try heroin, but what I'm saying is women. I think women end up being like heroin. It's like there's no other way to simulate the experience. You have to just go in it and see what person you'll turn into while you're in it. And like I say, with these rappers and sports stars, these guys it's like those are the dumbest ones out of everybody. Like brothel workers, sports stars, rappers, these guys are just like the dumbest people. like these guys are just terrible. It should be illegal for them to even talk to women. But yeah, I'm getting out of here because it's 10. I'm out of here. Thank you for everybody who donated, like, subscribe, and I'll catch y'all later, man. Peace out.